snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws, caught. Foles, touchdown.
Looks like man-to-man coverage. 4th and 3. Game on the line. Williams loafing one for a dude. He caught it! He caught it!
Kamara in at tailback. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns. And now 6. Tied for the most all time.
You're listening to the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen, Matt Hartman, and Ryan Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Project, episode 167, where we'll be talking nonstop, basically, after weekly news about the AFC South, because we did NFC last week. Gentlemen, Ben, camera's on again. Love to see it. How you doing?
Camera's on. Yeah, man, I'm doing great. I mean, I've probably had too much caffeine today, so I'm kind of jacked. Kind of pumped to talk about AFC South football. It's gonna be great about why you're wrong about CJ Stroud, but we'll get there. Matt, how you doing?
I like him. I don't like the team.
Chat. We are talking AFC South. I told you shortly before, there is no division that I have more questions about than this one. So I'm excited for this one. And then just again, if you haven't seen the Saints YouTube video, go check it out. But I'm writing about the Saints this year. With the recent retirements, I'm going to be writing a story about Tyrann Mathieu this week. So stay on the lookout for that. But let's get into it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into weekly news here. So a few things first. Steelers and edge TJ Watt are in agreement on a 3-year, $123 million extension. Chiefs and edge rusher George Karlaftis, not Charles.
Charles.
Yeah, Charles, not sure where I got that from. Chiefs and edge rusher George Karlaftis reached an agreement on a 4-year, $93 million extension. Packers and right tackle Zach Tom have agreed to terms on a 4-year, $88 million extension. Holy cow, man, English. So big 3 extensions of the week. All 3 players deserved. I don't think that's really too much to really talk about. I think everybody was like, meh, sure. I will say this just to end things off. That's a lot of money to be paying somebody to, just be trying to stop the Bears for the next 4 years. That's going to be a lot because he's going to suck. Anyways,
I don't think it was enough money. Zach Tom is very, very good. Has played everywhere along the offensive line, whether it's tackle, guard, center. He's played it all. He's a very good tackle as is. I think he probably deserves to be making more than $22 million. And I was kind of shocked that the Packers were able to get him only on $30 million guaranteed. It's less than half the contract. So
it was the signing bonus, right? Like the total guarantees I could never find. But yeah, that's just signing bonus.
Okay, wow. Yeah. So it was good. I thought it was a great value for the Packers, and Zach Tom, I'm shocked that he only costed $22 million at this point. But really, my big takeaway from all 3 of the signings, Matt will definitely have a rebuttal, but immediately after I saw that TJ Watt signing, it's Jerry Jones. What are we doing? Tick, tick, tick.
Clock's ticking. That signing's coming for sure.
I mean, now he is the last elite edge on the market, which good for him. But I mean, look at all 4 of these guys who got their big money and big payday. I mean, if you would have signed him before, you could have saved $6 million before any of these guys with Max Crosby. But now you decided to wait and draw this thing out because that's what the Cowboys do. And now you're going to be paying this guy far more than what you had to if you would have just got it done early when you were supposed to. That's where my mind went. But I know I immediately said that, and Matt had a good solid answer in response. So
yeah, who cares? I mean, the Cowboys have told us the last few years that, Jerry specifically, He doesn't care about winning a Super Bowl. And why should he? He already has the gold jacket and the bust in Canton. Who cares? And so he doesn't care. He's made of money. He doesn't understand that there's a salary cap, or maybe he does, and he just doesn't care either. But like, shout out Micah. Micah's at practice, not holding out or anything. Like, that guy's a football nerd like us, except he's like the 99.999 percentile athlete to actually do the sport. Because like other podcasts have said, like, yeah, he knows all like the cap rules and stuff. Like, he knows the void year language and stuff like that. So it's like, he's a hilarious dork about the sport, just as all three of us are. But he's still out there. Like, that guy could easily be sitting down and being like, that also tells me he's going to get his money. He's going to get his money, and he knows he's going to get his money. And the report was it's going to be closer to 45 than 40. So I would say $43 million a year for Micah Parsons. I think it's worth it. I would say that, because you look at those. You look at 3 of the 4 guys on this list. They're all in their 30s. The top 3. Micah Parsons, like, is 26. So, like, he's only going to get better. And then just touching on all of them for myself. Like, the Karlaftis thing, he's in a weird little tier where, like, he's not close to the other guys, as we mentioned. And then it's, like, Montez Sweat, Rashawn Gary. And then it's Karlaftis in, like, this own little tier. And then, like, Greg Rousseau's at 20. So, like, the Chiefs are banking on, okay, this guy's going to ascend and earn his value. Like, he's been a pretty productive player next to Chris Jones. And clearly them extending Karlaftis before Trent McDuffie is, again, the Chiefs valuing the edge position more than defensive back because they traded away Snead last year. But, yeah, I mean, again, just like Garrett Wilson last year and Sauce last year, if they keep ascending for this price tag, it's going to be worth it in a few more years. And then Zach Tom, I mean, looking at the right tackle, that puts him right behind Lane Johnson, $22 million a year at right tackle. Lane's making 25 for 1 year. So, like, again, he's in his own little tier here. And again, like, $22 million, only $22 million for Zach Tom annually. Late round guys always sign, like, cheaper contracts because they're, like, late round guys. It's always been a thing. So you don't really have the pedigree, but yeah, those, I just wanted to hit on all 3.
I just want to note this really quick. If you want to pull up, Micah again. There was one quote from Jerry Jones this week. He said, "Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him." He was hurt for, he said 6, but he meant 4. He was hurt 4 games last year. Seriously, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about just as a player does when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money. And so,
crazy comment to make.
At that point, Micah said, if they don't want me here, they don't want me here. I'll go about my business. I understand the nature of the business. As far as I'm here on and under contract, I'm going to do what I have to do to perform at the highest level. But if this is the end, this is the end. Same with the Joneses. They take care of their family the same way I need to take care of mine. I got 3 kids of my own, so we all just need to take care of our own family at the end of the day. I wouldn't say it's hard to not take it personally when there's a chain of events that something's consistent happening over the course of the years where you kind of see it before other players and things, but you don't take that personally. It's not like I'm getting treated differently than anyone else. I don't take it personally. I just don't understand it. So, like, overall, and I'll just have this be like the closing comment. I don't think that he's handling this in a super, and I'm saying this about Micah. I don't think he's handling this in a super unprofessional way. He's like, listen, like, I'm still going to go and do my job. Like, I'm here under contract. I'm a very privileged individual that gets to play football for a living, and this is what I love. So, like, I'm going to do this, but, like, I don't understand why he would say something like that. It sucks, but, like, I'm not going to take it personally because of the nature of the business. Like you said, he's a football nerd like us, so he understands that, like, the team has to save some money as well, and if they can get him on a cheaper deal, this is a steal for them, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he still has to take care of his family the same way that the Jerry Jones and his family needs to take care of themselves. So it's interesting, and I don't think that there's a doubt in my mind. Like, he'll be a Cowboy more than likely for the rest of his life.
And it works out good for him. I mean, for him, obviously, would you have liked to have that contract secured? Sure. But in the end, it works out for him because all this is doing is he's getting more money every single time another person signs a contract that doesn't have Micah Parsons written on it. That's extra $1 million, extra $500,000 that he can sign. So in the end, it'll work out. But it's, again, from Jerry's standpoint, it's dumb. But here we are.
Right. In other news, the Seahawks released tight end Noah Fant. Raiders signed safety Jamal Adams. And then, Matt, your Saints were kind of active this week, unfortunately. Now, Jimmy Graham retired officially. He retired a Saint. He was going to retire a Saint because he spent his last year, I believe, in 2023 with the Saints. But he is retired. Alongside Jimmy Graham, Tyrann Mathieu has retired. So the Honey Badger is going to retire a Saint. This one, the Saints were, I know you were like, man, that kind of sucks, but I get it. And, you were kind of anticipating a move a little bit later on, which leads to the next point. The Saints have signed safety Julian Blackmon as well. So just to kind of fill that gap, pretty young, I want to say 26-year-old safety to help, fill that gap, that Tyrann Mathieu size gap. And I'll be honest with you, I don't hate the signing at all. I mean, just my own personal viewpoint. I was hoping and actually talking to a coworker, just I want to say the other day about it. I was like, hey, he's still available. It'd be cool to take a flyer on him during training camp and see if, we'd want to potentially move on from Brisker and his, what's coming up to be his contract year and, something like that and kind of keep, Adams around as well to, but regardless, this is about the Saints, not the Bears. This is cool for Julian Blackmon. He gets a good opportunity to go start on a team and, show his worth on a 1-year deal. But I'm going to shut up now and let the Saints fan tell us how he feels.
Yeah, I mean, he's played a lot of football the last 2 years. I think he's played 31 of available 34 games. I saw some people calling him injury prone. Yes, he did tear his Achilles early in his career. That does not make him injury prone. It just has a wear and tear effect on his career. But since then, he's gotten over the hump. I think, again, it's just adding another. They acted fast on this, and Mickey Loomis wasn't like, I'm not surprised that we lost Tyrann or anything like that. So I assume that the Blackmon news, with how quickly it broke, like not even 12 hours after Tyrann Mathieu's retired, they sign him, and then the deals are worked out, and it's like up to 5.5. So that's real money. That's real money. So I assume he's going to make the team and play an impact on this team. So interesting, adds versatility in the back end. Played with Gus Bradley a lot, so he's familiar with cover 3 stuff because that's what Gus Bradley loves to run. But quarters with Brandon Staley will be what he primarily runs. So,
yeah,
I was disappointed we weren't going to see more of Jonas Sanker. Like, that's the first thing when he retired. I mean, that's in our group chat. It was like, it's Jonas
if you're not
Sanker
ready, you're
time,
not ready.
baby. Yeah,
that's my thing. It's like he's still a 3rd-round pick, so it's like if he earns the way onto the field, absolutely. I've said in big nickel, I would want him close to the line of scrimmage, but every down, he was not a good back end cover guy watching it. It was not something I liked, but he's a good downhill player, so I think there's ways to get him on the field.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, how your team kind of figures out that safety position, especially, I mean, training camp's officially open, everybody, by the way. All 32 teams have
watching
reported.
Clips today.
Yeah. And Bears Twitter, by the way, just for you guys, because I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but completely freaking out because of the first day of practice. Ben Johnson tore the team off of the field, the first team offense off the field because nobody lined up correctly or somebody didn't line up correctly. He was like, no, you're off. And he got everybody off and, second team offense came in and stuff like that. And I guess Caleb's having kind of a rough time right now. And to me, I'm not freaking out. I love it. This is what I want. This is exactly what I want. I want somebody to teach Caleb something instead of just be like, oh, Caleb, you're our first overall pick. This is cool. Hey man, how you doing? I'm Matt Eberflus. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't say his name. So overall, I hope everybody else's teams are doing good and, having exciting news instead of blowing up in our face. But regardless, Chargers have some cool news coming their way. Their own Phillip Rivers has retired a Charger. That one's cool. Round of applause for Phillip Rivers. Yeah, who forgot that he retired a few years ago? I did. Anyways, Browns and Bills have new helmets. This is really cool. Now, Browns announced theirs. What was that, today? Was it today or yesterday? I don't know. It's been a long day. But I was a fan of it. I was a fan. I think it matches. I think it matches the uniforms pretty well. And to be honest with you, like this, it just goes so well with the uniforms. I'll just hit on that.
Did you guys get faked out by the guy who fell into the lake?
I was like, wait a minute. I just
wait,
saw
was that not real?
Splash.
It was fake. Yeah.
Seriously?
That wasn't real?
Yeah, that wasn't real. There was a video of him falling into the lake, like right behind him on TikTok. So, like, it was a staged camera shot of getting him falling into the lake.
Jeez. I didn't know that was fake. That's hilarious, though. Yeah. I totally fell for it.
Yeah, I absolutely did.
So, I like him. I think the orange stands out on the matte brown. But I think the cooler ones are the ones that we're about to talk about. Ben, I mean, you want to tell everybody why you hate them, and then we'll let Matt be the deciding factor on whether or not they're good or not?
I just think they're ugly. Like I don't think there's like a particular reason in which like I hate them. Like I don't know. I'm not like color theorying this or anything. There's not a need for it. Like I don't think it's cool. It's just dumb. Like congratulations,
I think they could have
brown helmet. I don't know, but I'm just not a fan of the orange on brown anyways. But
they could have done a little bit better with that stripe in the middle. Now that I'm looking at it, it could have been white. And then at that point, it would have definitely popped a little bit more. But overall, it's a lose-lose in my book when it comes to the Browns and other people that aren't surrounded with family that root for the Browns because they have boring helmets. Their logo's a helmet. Like, what do you want from them? I mean, what are you going to do? Slap a helmet decal on the helmet? That's stupid. So, Matt, what do you think?
That's exactly why I don't like them. They should always wear orange helmets because it's literally their logo. They should always.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I think that's the nicest way to put it. I think it's good that they have the all brown going on, but it's like Ben said, like who was asking for this? Who went out of their way and said we need this?
You know what? This was the perfect opportunity to do. This was the perfect opportunity, if I can share my screen here. To bring this logo in and slap it on the side of the helmet as an alternate. You know what I mean? Like, do this because it's already brown, but you'll have the accent, like, I would say put, like, white around it to, like, really accent it to make it look good. You know what I mean? But, like, something like this. You know what I mean? Do that, slap that on the side of the helmet, and, like, make this, like, the dog pound unis or something like that. I don't know. So, like, I get where you guys are coming from. Whoops, these are my notes. So, you know, that's that. But next up, we have the Bills helmets. These things, my God, so good. So good. They should have never gotten rid of these, in my opinion. These are beautiful. This one, probably my favorite that's been released so far this offseason in terms of overall uniform changes. Amazing. I don't know. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, they're good. I mean, I see them. And I'm glad they brought him back, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. I don't have a strong opinion either way. I mean, if we're talking about best helmets, it might shock some of our longer time listeners, but the Saints one is actually probably been my favorite. But that's regardless.
Wow. Ben likes a
yeah, right?
Crazy.
Shocker.
Yeah. Ben doesn't like anything. I'm just kidding. Matt, what do you think?
I agree with you, Ryan. I really like these. I'm really happy they brought these back because I think they can mix and match with the red and the blue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they can only be used at home, though. That's what I'll say. They should only be used at home games. But overall, yeah, I agree with you. I do enjoy these.
Can we bring back Color Rush? That'd be really cool. I want Color
God,
Rush
no.
back. Give me red ones.
God,
God no.
Yeah, I'm with Matt on this one.
That's awesome.
Far away. Get out of here.
Anything but the Jaguars getting their color rush uniforms back because they were awful. Oh, speaking of uniforms, we've got 2 new uniforms. One of them being the team that we already talked about today. We'll go ahead and get that one. Talk about them. The Saints, man. Look at that. So that one's cool. You know what this reminded me of? This is Purdue, man. Like, this is Purdue. It's simple. It's not anything too crazy. You know what I mean? At first I was like, where's the logo? And then I saw the sleeves. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But like, I mean, it's not, it didn't stun me as much as the other ones did. However, it's a lot better than the one that we're about to talk about after this one. So I'll give this one like a C+, B- grade. Cause it's like, this one's a wearable jersey. It's cool. Nothing too crazy. I don't know. Ben?
I'm just glad it's not. Yeah, like I didn't know this, to be frank. I didn't know they came out with these ones until 5 minutes before the start of this podcast. And you guys did the Saints uniform, and you guys were like, "It's the gold ones," and I was like, "I expect to hate them." I thought it was gonna be like that shiny gold, that like the Reebok era, but these are fine. They're
let me just add this really quick.
Good.
I was just about to say, yeah, the one point that I have to make is it accents, or like the helmet goes with the jersey very well. So I'm happy about that. I also think it's funny that they use Chase Young to promote the jerseys because
they had a ton of people. I just picked Chase Young. Chill out. But
right,
yeah,
Matt,
like,
what do you think?
No, what is it? Yeah,
am I getting you a jersey of this? What are we talking about? Are we wearing this in October when we go see the Bears? If we go see the Bears, when we go see the Bears?
I found the Aaron Brooks one. Yeah, like the helmet definitely makes it. I'll say that. Yeah. I think the helmet really changes the dynamic of it. Again, it's just like another throwback. As for Ryan's question, am I going to get this uniform? Probably not. I'm probably not going to get this uniform.
You're not going to get a Chase Young gold jersey?
But
listen, an Olave in this one would look pretty sick. Not going to lie.
I've thought about this. I don't think there is a player I will get a jersey of unless Kelvin Banks is really good. I've thought about that. Like, and that's a tackle, but he went to Texas and won all the awards there, so it's like it would mean something to me. But I have every jersey I need, so I'm kind of out on the jersey buying game.
Chuck jersey. You're wrong.
If we end up going to this game, Matt, I'm buying you a Saints Velus Jones Jr. jersey to wear to the game. So
that'd be fun if he makes the team. That'd be fun for lore purposes.
Let's bring up the other one. The Steelers, another team that was a little active in the past week in transactions. Made probably the most hideous jerseys I've ever seen, alongside those gross Packers ones, and you could just pick one from them. But look at this. Now, people made the most perfect, and I'm trying to buy some time for you. They made the most perfect, comparison to what these jerseys look like. Matt, are you pulling it up?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so for those of you that haven't seen the movie, go watch it. First off, you've lived under a rock for like a decade. Second off, in one of the Dark Knight movies, Dark Knight Rises,
yes,
they blow up
the
Pittsburgh. Oh God, no!
I don't like the patch.
Is this seriously a patch? There's a patch there. I didn't even notice. God, that's disgusting. No, so anyways,
they're wearing these against the Packers, dude.
That's so bad. It looks horrible.
And the numbers are different too. That makes me so mad. It's a white number on the front and a black one in the back.
Oh my God, it's hideous. Look at the at the bars in the middle. You see this? What is this? Like did they bring up like stats on a bar graph? You know what I'm saying? And like slap that in the middle of the jersey and was like, let's do that. And then what are we doing in the back? Nothing. We'll just put nothing on the back. And then just make it a different color than the front, like nothing. It's horrible.
The Steelers said, "Hold my beer," when we talked about the Chargers coming out with the worst yellow uniform. And again, I swear they said, "Hold my beer. We will make an even worse yellow uniform." They heard us talking about it, and they needed to one-up you one more time, right?
Dude, no, I told you that they did not have the worst yellow in the league, and the Steelers were like, check this out. Let me just show you why you're right. Another thing, man, dude, it's. Do you guys remember when the Giants released their throwback uniforms last season?
Yeah.
And it was the red and blue, and then those hideous. Because look, the Steelers are wearing the same colored pants too. If you check this out,
The khaki.
you'll see
and that's
the khaki
how
pants.
Illinois
And the thing is, really quick, this is what the 1944 throwbacks or something.
33.
33, even worse. Leave them in the past. Don't bring them back. Just don't bring them back.
I think they're goated, dude.
They're disgusting. They're so bad.
I love uniforms that lean into how awful they are.
They're so bad.
Anything will be better than those Illinois jerseys from I think it was No. Those jerseys were bad and the helmets made it even worse.
The helmets were awesome.
No.
I would even argue. I mean,
settle this.
Oh God, it's so bad.
I'm gonna pull it up. We had a conversation before this podcast, and we said we weren't gonna go long on the podcast, and here we are talking about Illinois jerseys.
They're
and
better.
I'm pulling them up.
These uniforms are so much better. Actually, this is the meme going around that these are the Gotham City uniforms when they blew up Heinz Field on Dark Knight Rises. Look, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. What are we talking about?
Chat, for the 20 people that are in here, these have to be worse jerseys.
No,
There's
no shot.
Those helmets are the worst helmets I've ever seen in my entire life. What are we
because they're old? Because they're not neon green? Wow.
No, because they look gross. What are we trying to do with the leather? Stop it.
Because they're old school.
Go away from
They're a 100-year anniversary for Illinois.
Gross. It's awful.
Listen, the game that went with those uniforms though, when they played against Purdue this year, my God, that was so good. 49-50 in overtime, fighting Illini.
All right, chat.
Come on,
we're talking about 2024 college football season.
Dude, we're just talking ball with the boys again. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Pigskin Pick'em, where we're going to go ahead and talk about the Titans. Matt, what do you got for us this week, man? The least talked about first round pick, overall number one overall pick.
Yeah, why does that have to be a thing every year, man? Why do we always have to be this? Listen, no one was less talked about than Trayvon Walker. All right, let's not do this game, but.
At least in the quarterback position.
Yeah, that's quarterback tax at least. But the Titans, they went 3-14 last year. Of course, missed the playoffs, fourth in the division, picked number one. They were 30th in offensive EPA per play, negative .104. Their pass block win rate was 56%, 27th. Run block win rate was 71%, 21st. Defensive EPA per play was .050, 500ths. And then they were tied with the Rams and the Cardinals. And then pass rush win rate was 12th at 42%. Run stop win rate was 24th at 29%. Cam Ward, I always do a quarterback on here. Cam Ward has no EPA or success rate stats, but I do have Will Levis, who Will Levis announced this week that shoulder injury out for the season. It's good for the Titans because among 32 qualified quarterbacks who had over 300 snaps last year, he was 32nd in both EPA per play and success rate. Literally the worst quarterback in football last season. Was that just his fault? I don't know, but it's good for the Titans he's not playing. I'll say that. They fired GM Rand Carthon, who kind of had a power struggle with Mike Vrabel a year ago, and they fire him anyway and bring in Mike Borgonzi from Kansas City. Their big major keeps, they really overhauled this roster. They only kept really Sebastian Joseph Day, who didn't play a ton. He was a rotational defensive lineman for them. And Darryl Baker, who played a ton of football, but didn't really is third string on their depth chart now, basically. Their additions, their big headline addition was Dan Moore, 4 years, $82 million, basically has guarantees through the first two seasons. Kevin Zeitler, 1 year, $9 million to be a guard. Draymond Jones from Seattle, 1 year, $8.5 million. He's going to replace Harold Landry, who left. Cody Barton, 3 years, $21 million. Tyler Lockett, and then Xavier Woods, kind of little mini signings there at the end. Then their draft. Of course, drafted Cam Ward, number 1 overall, but it's all about how you draft around the number 1 overall pick, and I thought they had the best draft of the entire year. You could go back and watch our draft reaction show. I said that then. I still believe it. Oluwafemi Olajejo in round 2, good twitchy edge rusher. Kevin Winston Jr. in round 3, my 50th overall player. You got him in the 80s. And then in round 4, Jameer DK, Gunnar Helm tight end, and Alec Ayumanor in round 4. If one of those guys hits this year, you won the 4th round. You like, that's all you're looking for is little hits in day 3, and I think all 3 of those guys have potential in a Brian Callahan offense to stick. Their departures: Harold Landry, edge rusher; Nick Westbrook-Akine, receiver; Dylan Redunce, a tackle/guard, went to the Saints, and then they traded away Kenneth Murray, which is a good thing because that guy's bad. And then my season outlook question. This was my favorite one of any of these. How good is Cam Ward? This question doesn't matter if he sucks. If he's bad year 1, well, then you do what Ryan did, right? He's a rookie. Who cares? Give him time. But playing the what if he's good game gives more excitement, and I think it gives everybody else more excitement. The precedent the last 2 seasons is that rookie quarterbacks are like the wave now. Because let's take you back, 2022, Davis Mills was the 30th best quarterback. They bring in C.J. Stroud, and they take them to the playoffs. And then 2023, Sam Howell with the Commanders, 26th in EPA per play, 24th in success rate. Jaden Daniels was 6th in EPA per play this past season, 13th in success rate. They won 12 games. They went to the NFC title game. Like we mentioned with Will Levis, he was 32nd in both of those. Let's play the game. What if Cam Ward is 13th in both? That team's winning 11 games. So it's like, how much better do they get just from getting the bump from the worst quarterback in football to maybe average, maybe above average, maybe he's a superstar. Maybe he just creates explosives every time he walks on the field like Daniels did. Who knows? But the sky's the limit with a player like this. And so it's just that alone, going from the worst situation in football at quarterback to just sustainable, brings me enough excitement that we'll see where this team finishes for me.
I don't want to be now I feel like the bad guy. Now I feel like I'm the one pooping on the parade. I mean, coming off the back of that, I mean, let's pump the brakes. I think is kind of where I'm at with Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward. He's the number 1 overall pick. He was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. And yes, I get you're going from Will Levis to Cam. But man, is it going to be rough with this offense. And at the end of the day, he's a rookie. And I feel like more often than not, rookies struggle. You know, you do occasionally have the Daniels rookie season. But more often than not,
they band-aided the offensive line. They have Calvin Ridley. Like I said, if one of those shots hit in the round 4 guys, like,
you're making me feel like I'm a bad guy.
You're staring at something. You're not staring at nothing. That's my belief when I was researching this team.
Yeah.
And Cam Ward was asked about Traylon Burks today, dude. Remember when he ranked Traylon Burks in the top 5 on Fortnite? Come on.
Yeah, he was talking about, that quote was ridiculous. He was talking about how he thinks, I mean, he should say it, but talking about how he thinks that he's going to be one of the best weapons if he can stay healthy. Really, my big takeaway, though, from the Titans, when looking at the Titans' defense, and then we can, jump into the actual schedule prediction. Mm-hmm. I'm looking over the defense, and I think to myself, man, could they use a guy like Ernest Jones? That is what I think to myself. A guy like Ernest Jones could really help this defense. I don't like their linebacker core the way it is, and it's just a shame that they weren't able to keep him. Now, again, I understand why they didn't keep him, but he would have been fun to have in this defense, and it might have changed the way I looked a little bit because I do not like this defense outside of Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah,
T-Sweat? Not T-Sweat?
I don't think that they were that bad. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
funny
that's
too, Ryan, that this is where it's at, considering where we're at on this team this time last year. So
I don't know. All right, let's get into it. So let's do 2 rows at a time, huh? How about that? We'll do six games at a time. That way it's 2, 2, and 2. So I'm gonna have them lose against the Broncos, lose against the Rams, beat the Colts. That's at home, by the way. So the super light blue is home, darker blue is away. I'm gonna have them lose to the Texans, beat. I'm gonna have them lose to the Cardinals. Beat the Raiders. Oh man, dude, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be so fun. Yeah, I'm already done. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the next game. I have them 2-4 after the first 2 rows, but the next game after that is the one I'm talking about. I'll shut up though, Ben. First 2 rows before I continue and screw this up.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make it, short and to the point here. They're gonna lose every single game besides the Cardinals game. Again, from the conversation, I think I'm gonna be lower on this team than what people are, but I really think they're gonna lose. Yeah, every single one of these games besides that Cardinals game.
I have them losing the first 2. I have them beating Indianapolis. I have them losing to Houston and then winning Arizona at Las Vegas. So I have them 3-3 at this stretch.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna switch up because I think I had the Patriots beating them here. I'm gonna actually say that the Titans are gonna win this game against New England. And so let's see, yeah, and then they'll lose against the Colts. No, you know what? No, they're gonna beat the Colts. And then, yes, they're going to lose to the Chargers. Then they're in the bye week. And then they will lose to the Texans, lose to the Seahawks. Ben?
Well, see, here's the thing. We'll get into the Colts. Obviously, we're focused on the Titans. The Colts are just a better team, flat out. I think roster-wise, roster talent, they are just a better team. So that's regardless. I have them. I do have them beating the Patriots, and then I have them losing the next 4 games against the Colts, Chargers, Texans, and Seahawks. So I actually have them losing both games against the Colts, but then I do have them picking up a victory here at home against the Jaguars.
I have them beating New England. I have them losing to Indianapolis. I have them beating the Chargers 5-4 at the bye. I have them losing the next 2 games against Houston and Seattle, and then beating the Jaguars, sitting at 6-6 going into December.
Yeah, I have them beating the Jaguars, beating the Browns, losing to the Niners and Chiefs, and then beating the Saints and Jags. So they will also sweep the Jags. And then, guys, that's going to put them at 8-9 for me.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I didn't even realize the bye week. I'm looking at my own stuff. That is 100% my bad, guys. Yeah, to reiterate, I have them beating the Jags, beating the Browns. So good for them, getting wins in back-to-back weeks. And then I have them losing the rest of the season. It's the Niners, Chiefs, Saints, and Jags. So I do have them better than what they were last year, but not significantly better. I have them 4-13. Again, I think you end the year probably, happy with what it is. But at the end of the day, I do think there's going to be a whole lot of growing pains. I love Cam Ward, but the kind of ball he played in college will not translate directly to what he's going to play here in the NFL right away. He's going to have to find his footing, and that's why, it's 4-13 for them for me.
I have them beating the Browns. I have them losing to San Francisco, and then Kansas City beating the Saints and losing to Jacksonville. I have them equal with Ryan at 8-9. Again, I'm buying the offense being better than the worst offense in football. I think it's that simple. I think the defense can take a little marginal step. Maybe L'Jarius Sneed plays more than 5 games, what it felt like he played last season. I like the overall defense from the defensive line purpose, the 2 interior guys, T-Sweat and then Simmons. Overall, it's just weak division. I like the fourth place schedule. I think there's games they're going to steal on this schedule, and if they're clicking at the right time, they're going to rattle off wins against some of these teams. Like, I think they're better than Las Vegas. I think they're better than New England. Like, I'm bullish on this team enough that I'm buying the way they've built in the offseason, just band-aiding it all, and if Cam Ward can be exceptional, then it's welcome. So, yeah.
So just want to throw this out there. According to betmgm.com, they currently have the Tennessee Titans over under at 5.5 wins for the win total. Early September, they'll be part of the parlay. I can tell you that right now because I'm going to parlay some teams and stuff like that. As far as, over unders, I know we talked about the Dolphins earlier on in Pigskin Pick'em, but Titans I think are also going to be in there. Dolphins under, Titans over. That's what I got right now. But fun stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I'm that confident, dude. I think what did they finish last year? They 3-14.
3-14.
Yeah. So yeah, you're telling me they can't win 3 more games than that? Looking at their schedule, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I don't know.
Regardless, I think so much of it is I just got bit in the butt by this team last year, so maybe I'm just a bit soured on them compared to this year. Like, this was the team last year. I was like, they're not going to be as bad as what everyone thinks. Like, watch out. So maybe
you were a Levis believer.
Exactly. So maybe I was a year. So I think so much of it probably is I just got soured from them last year. So we'll have to, and they have a lot to prove to me as kind of a football fan / watcher. But
the way my brain works here when I look at our records, right? Matt and I being at 8-9, Ben being at 4-13. I'm sitting here like, what's that middle ground? And I'm like, 6 games. All right, cool. And then that's when I'm like, I wonder what their over under is.
Yeah.
5.5, 6 games. What do you know? So it's like, because I'm sitting here thinking like, knowing that Matt and I are higher on them than Ben is, they're probably going to fall somewhere in between where we're all at, right? And it's really cool how these things have worked out because it seems like we've been, kind of spread even when it comes to our predictions. You know what I mean? Like, we'll all be 1 game apart sometimes, But this time it's like, if we just take that middle number, you're still winding up with the over. So that's why I'm like, whatever.
Somehow we still managed to get there.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. Next up, we've got the Jaguars. Matt, what you got?
Let me sort through my notes here, find the Jaguars notes. All right.
I like to keep him on his toes, guys.
He does. He does a good job. The Jaguars last season, 4-13, third in the division, missed the playoffs. At the 5th overall pick, and we'll see what they do with it. Oh, they were 19th in offensive EPA per play, negative .023. Pass block win rate was 59%, 19th. Run block win rate was 70%, 25th. Their defensive EPA per play, .131, 31st in the league. And their drop back EPA per play was .241, is the worst in the NFL since the 2021 Jets. Pretty awful. Pass rush win rate was last, 32nd. Run stop win rate was 27th. So they were in contention for the worst defense in all of football. Trevor Lawrence was the 20th best quarterback last year. EPA per play was .054, 20th, and success rate was 45.5% at 20th. Their offseason, entirely new coaching staff. Head coach Leon Cohen, OC Grant Udinski comes over from Minnesota, like whiz kid, 29 years old. He was kind of handcuffed to Kevin O'Connell was what I read when he was hired. And then Anthony Campanile, I don't know much about him, but he is the defensive coordinator. The only keep I could find that was notable for the Jacksonville Jaguars was their punter, Logan Cook, got a 4-year extension. Shout out, Logan. Free agency, Pat McCary comes in from Baltimore, 3 years, $37.5 million. Damie Brown, 1 year, $10 million. Jordan Lewis from the Dallas Cowboys comes in to play nickel, 3 years, $30 million. Robert Hainsey, their center, 3 years, $21 million. And then Eric Murray, 3 years, $19.5 million. And then their draft. Obviously, they traded up to number 2 to take Travis Hunter, the receiver/defensive back. They traded the 5th overall pick, the 36th overall pick, a 2025 4th, and their first next year. For Hunter, a 2025 fourth, which they used on Bashal Tootin out of Virginia Tech, and a 2025 sixth that I didn't write down. Their other 2 third-round picks were Caleb Ransaw and Wyatt Milam. Kind of just throw them in there. And then their departures. They had a lot of departures, but not really a lot of good players. Evan Ingram is out the door. Andre Sisco, safety. Luke Farrell went to the Niners. Mac Jones. Mitch Morse, I believe, retired. Brandon Scherf isn't on a team. He's likely to retire. Gabe Davis, not on a team. And then Christian Kirk, they obviously traded to the Texans, but were going to cut anyway. So they got something for him. My season outlook question, come on, guys, you know me so well. Can Trevor Lawrence get back to what he was in 2022, please? Lawrence is a very contentious talking point. Some have him in the outside of the top half. Some are like me, have him in the 12 to 14 range, sniffing that top 10 range. And I don't feel sorry about it. This guy in 2022 was top 10 in EPA per play, top 5 in success rate, and in Mahomes' territory for sacks taken. Had under 30 sacks when he played in all 17 games. That's really insane numbers. And the last 2 seasons, of the 19 qualified quarterbacks with 1,000+ snaps, 16th in EPA per play and 15th in success rate. It's bad. It's been really bad the last 2 years. He's only been a downtick the last 2 seasons. But with a new youthful energy, new head coach Liam Cohen, Brian Thomas Jr.'s rookie season, Travis Hunter is likely going to play a pretty good chunk at wide receiver because they drafted him number 2 overall, and they rebuilt their interior offensive line. There is optimism for us Trevor believers. We will ride at dawn when the season starts up again. I'm excited to watch this guy play.
My season outlook question is, how many times are we going to make excuses for this guy? Jesus Christ. Can we please just figure this out? I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying people in general. This guy is one of the most exhausting players in the league when it comes to quarterback. And, I feel like until maybe this
I feel like
is
he's not
the
talked
year.
about. I feel like he goes, yeah, I'm not on the same side. I see a lot of Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky debating Jalen Hurts. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. Orlovsky put Hurts at 1. He was like, regardless of what you think, Hurts is number 1.
Yeah,
but his opinion's irrational. I don't think that it means anything. So, if he talks about Trevor Lawrence, it's probably bottom 5 quarterback in the league right now. It's all recency bias. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. Big deal. For me, it's if we talk about, okay, the guy's got potential. Oh, man, they just loaded up the offense for him. Christian Kirk, they just completely overpaid the receiver, blah, blah, blah. And oh, now they've got Calvin Ridley. This guy's going to blow up. And then he throws for just barely over 4,000 yards. That's cool. 4,000-yard passer. Congratulations. You already did more than any Bears quarterback.
Come on, this is ironic, dude.
But my thing is, regardless, what is the guy doing? I don't know. It's not great for me right now, man. I don't know. And one of the things that I'd like to do, hint, hint, I'd like to do more film reviews personally, thinking about NFLs.com, NFL Plus subscription, figuring out if I can record that and put things out, because it's I need to put on paper why I don't like these quarterbacks for other people, because I feel for you guys especially, we talk about this way more than just the podcast every week. Just a PSA for people listening, I need to have more backing this stuff up and why I don't like Trevor Lawrence, and I want to put that out for you. So maybe that happens, but regardless, I don't like him.
I don't.
I mean, you guys will see. I'm going to be drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit more on Trevor Lawrence than usual. But I had this conversation, kind of exact same conversation with Matt, a little bit more extensively off of the podcast. It's at what point can Trevor Lawrence continue to play down to what we expect, and for us to be no, give him one more year, give him one more year, give him one more year, compared to this is just what Trevor Lawrence is. How many more years are we going to try to convince ourselves that he is better?
I can't get to that point because I saw what he was in 2022. And I saw what the highs are, And with how reactionary we are to quarterbacks, like Jaden Daniels is in any top 5 list you look right now. You know what I'm saying? Where was Lawrence after 2022? So it's
Yes.
what we saw recently is going to be how we judge our opinion for most of us. So, but us believers, us in the hive of Trevor Lawrence, our belief doesn't go away. Our belief only exfoliates. Is that the right word to throw in here?
Do you know who had a great year? Do you know who had a great year and had a hive of believers and then just went downhill every single year? Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was MVP runner-up.
Wow.
And it was never the same sense. So I get given.
So he's Carson Wentz.
I'm not saying that. We will get into it when we get here. But I'm just saying there are two sides to a coin.
Dude.
Given I'm leaning more towards you, Matt. Like I want to say that I think we are
the correct side.
A better year, but let's.
Don't go to the darkness where Ryan is sitting in hate.
All right.
No, dude, I'm trying to give him.
Let's brace ourselves that it could be the same result. Is all I'm saying. But I do think it is going to be more like. Well, you're here, more like you. So,
dude, the way that I'm making.
Why do you hate Trevor
While
Lawrence?
you guys are speaking,
why do you hate him? Huh?
What he is like it's like
do?
Kyrie. It's like Kyrie in basketball. All right, they're gonna talk about him like, oh my God, how does he have this talent to put the ball wherever he wants it? But like he's never gonna have the overwhelming counting stats to win an MVP. You get what I'm saying?
The biggest curse that Trevor Lawrence has is being drafted by the Jaguars. No, the biggest thing is
Liam Cohen's gonna
right now.
Duval.
That is the literal point that I was getting to. Is I'm trying to build a case to be like, well, maybe this is the year that he explodes, and Matt's like, hey, this is cool, and I'm like, the one wrench in the plan here, right, on why that might not happen. You know what Liam Cohen had that Jacksonville doesn't?
What?
2 great receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr. Travis Hunter second overall.
Oh
Jesus, stop yelling. Hold on a minute. Travis Hunter's playing both ways. Something that hardly ever has happened in the NFL before. We don't know how that's going to work. Hold on a minute. Jesus Christ. But regardless, there's that, and then there's also a great run game. I mean, that's not something that is established very well in Jacksonville. It's still a question on whether or not ETN's going to be their guy or what's going on. Whereas in Tampa Bay, you could alleviate, Baker, given the fact that he threw for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns last season. Like, he also had a good run game to take the pressure off of him and short down.
We didn't know that going into the year. It's not like we talked about Bucky Irving.
Well, that's
the
the thing.
we are now going.
I don't like that you brought up Chris Godwin because Chris Godwin played in 7 games.
Yeah,
it's still a good tool to have for 7 games, regardless. Yeah. And Mike Evans is still a 1,000-yard receiver. Like, I mean, he's still good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, might have been top 5 favorite podcast moment. By the way, just throwing that out.
I don't like. Regardless, I don't know. Like, I mean. Sure, I don't know. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. did some pretty good things, and I might have forgotten about him. That's totally okay to admit. But, he's what, top 3 in receiving yards this year with somebody that's not named Trevor Lawrence? Like, that's pretty good, But, yeah, I mean, I'll give him his flowers. My bad. But, where does Travis Hunter slot in here? I'm excited to see that. Maybe that's another season outlook question.
As a prospect, I slot him in with the neighbors, the that boy move different kind of category.
You know what I'm saying?
I think he's going to be. You don't trade up for a corner, too.
I think he was a better corner or better wide receiver than corner. So I agree with you, Matt.
I'm still, but I agree with your ETN is not Bucky Irving, and it's 1 season and. ETN's been around for a little bit, so
neither is Tank.
But I was gonna say Tank Bigsby is good in between the tackles. That's what I was gonna throw out there, but you kind of poo-pooed my point. Maybe Bashal Tootin takes a step.
I don't know. Anyway, let's get into it, row by row. I'll have them. I'll have them lose to the Panthers, lose to the Bengals, lose to the Texans, lose to the Niners, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Seahawks.
Oh, we are going to be we're going to be different on this team.
You know what? Hold on. Let me switch just one of them because they're going to win one of these games. It's going to be the Bengals. They're going to beat the Bengals. It'll be like, what? But the Bengals normally like struggle early on in the season. I don't know. It happens.
Yeah.
They do so.
Yeah. I mean, I have them going back and forth through the first 6 games here. I have them losing to the Rams, beating the Bucks. That is the Texans. Oh my!
What?
I was
very confused.
Looking at the Texans here for me, guys.
I had my one earlier. I forgot about.
I'll go.
I got it.
Okay.
My draft crush, Brian.
But still, I still have them. Regardless, I have them beating the Panthers, losing to the Bengals, winning the next 3 against the Texans, Niners, and Chiefs, and then losing to the Seahawks. So I have them starting off the season at 4-2.
I have them starting 3-0. I have them losing to the Niners and Chiefs, and then beating Seattle. So 4-2, lockstep with you, Ben.
I have them losing to the Rams, beating the Raiders, losing to the Texans, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Cardinals.
All right.
I'll have them beat the Cardinals. I'll have them beat the Cardinals. You swayed me. Whatever.
I mean, I have them taking a little bit of a step back here in the next 6, chunk of games. It's going to be a little bit of a rough stretch compared to those first 6. I have them losing every single game outside of the Raiders game. I do have them losing to the Rams, Texans, Chargers, and Cardinals, again with that stray victory against the Raiders there. So I have them, winning 5 games through the first 6 weeks of the season. Or not 6 weeks,
12.
5 games through the first 12 weeks. My Lord.
It's all right. We've all had a moment here.
I think it's 11, actually. Yeah. So
I have them
11.
I have them winning the London game. So they'll go into the week 8 bye 5-2. They'll come out of the bye, and they'll beat the Raiders, and then they'll lose their next 4, all the way up into the Titans game.
I mean,
3 road
so
games.
we're like still the same here in terms of record prediction.
Yep.
All right.
I'll have them lose to the Titans, beat the Colts, beat the Jets, beat the Broncos, beat the Colts, lose to the Titans. 7-10.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we ended up not being as far apart on this team than I thought. I have them losing to the Titans here. Then I have them winning the next 3 games against the Colts, Jets, and Broncos, losing to the Colts, and then finishing the season on a high with a victory against the Titans, finishing 9-8. And at that point, you're just really hoping and praying that is just enough to beat the Texans for the division. But yeah, 9-8. I think that's a step up. I like where this team is at, and I think, again, they're probably one offseason removed from really being one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah, I have them trading wins the rest of the way from week 14 on. I went 1 over with the Titans game, winning against the Colts, losing against the Jets, winning against the Broncos, losing against the Colts, winning against the Titans, finishing equal to Ben, 9-8. Again, another I'm high on this division. Again, it's another I kind of want to buy this division just because it can't be that bad, right? But overall, I think what they did in the offensive category, much like the Titans, I'm just it can't be that bad. And then the other, the little incremental moves they made in the secondary, if we can, it's such a good treat to go from, the worst since the 2021 Jets to 24th. And if they can achieve that on defense, specifically as a drop back game, and can they get pressure with Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker? They're going to win games. They're not going to lose 13 games again. It's all about if Lawrence stays healthy and that whole offense meshes together. Again, I'm excited about the Jaguars because what is Travis Hunter? Brian is saying the point that is correct. What's he going to do? Nobody knows. And I still think whatever he does, he's going to be tremendous at it. Like, I'm that confident in this player. And so, yeah, I'm high on this team, pretty equal to Ben. What would this was something I missed, was their odds. Did Ryan?
Yeah, I checked it. So what's ironic is where do you guys think it is? Before you look, Matt, where do you think it is? They're over here in total.
8 wins.
Yeah, that would be my guess based off of the way you placed that question.
7.5. Yeah. So you guys are at 9 and 8. I'm at 7 and 10. So again, the next team, I mean, we're talking right in the middle, like probably, you know what I mean? Who knows? So Vegas has them right there with it. So I'm excited to see, what happens from there. Next team, guys, let's go with the Texans. Matt, yeah.
All right. The Texans last season, 10-7, first in the division, lost in the divisional round yet again to the 1 seed, this time being Kansas City, last year being Baltimore. Their offensive EPA per play. Can you guys guess where they were? I don't think we've.
20. Yeah, no, 17th.
21st.
Oh, gosh.
Negative 0.038. Or their pass block win rate was 58%, better than I thought, 22nd. And then their run block win rate was 68%, 31st. And then their defensive EPA per play, tied for 5th with the Chargers. Their pass rush win rate was 49%. Denver Broncos had the second place, and they were 46%. That was how dominant their pass rush was, with just specifically the edge guys and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. The run stop win rate was second, 34%, and then CJ Stroud was terrible. Negative 0.007 EPA per play, which was tied with Drake May, who his number one receiver was Demario Douglas. 42.4% success rate, which was 27th of those qualified quarterbacks, 300 snaps plus. And then their offseason, they rightfully fired OC Bobby Slowick and brought in Nick Caley from the Rams, who's kind of been bouncing around with, like, he was with the Patriots, with the Belichick era, and then went to the Rams. Never called plays. They mostly, like, the guys they kept were just extensions. Derek Stingley, of course, top of the market extension. Danielle Hunter at the time, top of the market extension. Jalen Petrie, 3 years, $39 million. That was a pretty good extension for him. He's their nickel. And then their trades, they made some moves this offseason, because they even made some maneuvers around the draft that I forgot about, but like their trades. CJ Gardner-Johnson, of course, a 5th round to 6th round swap with Kenyon Green involved. They were just done with Kenyon Green. They traded a 7th in 2026 for Christian Kirk. They traded a 2026 6th for Ed Ingram, and then obviously traded away Laramie Tunsil. They got a 4th round pick, or they got a 3rd round pick in 2025, which they used, a 7th round pick, and then a 2026 2nd and 4th. So that was kind of the meat and bones of it all. Their free agency, Cam Robinson, 1 year, $12 million. Sheldon Rankins, he was brought back, 1 year, $5 million. Darrell Taylor, 1 year, $5 million. Lincoln Tomlinson is their slotted in left guard, who's pretty terrible last year for the Seahawks, 1 year's $4 million. And then just a ton of 1 year flyers. Nick Chubb is on the list. Trent Brown's on the list. EJ Speed's on the list. Like, just any position you think of, they signed a 1 year's like veteran to see if it would work. Then their draft. They traded out of the 1st round. They took Jaden Higgins at the top of round 2. Of course, added all the drama with the 2nd round picks, making Jaden Higgins' contract fully guaranteed. And what they got out of that was the 99th pick and a 2026 3rd. They then used the 99th pick with their own second 58 to move up to 48 to take Ariante Ursary. So basically, moving out of the 1st round, they got a 3rd plus Higgins, who they probably could have taken in round 1, and Ursary, a tackle they needed. Jaden Noel and Jaden Higgins were teammates at Iowa State. That was always a fun little thing. And then they traded their own 3rd in 2026 because they got a 3rd from the New York Giants to get into round 4 to take Woody Marks. one pick before Jarquez Hunter. Why'd they do that, man? I didn't understand that. But yeah, they were moving like Madden, man. Like they were making trades all over the place. They were trading good players, they were trading bad players, they were trading for bad players. But overall, their biggest departures were obviously Tunsil, Stephon Diggs, and then Eric Murray, who went to the rival Jaguars. My season outlook question for them. Sometimes the questions are fun and like I can flex my creative muscle. Sometimes it's the offensive line, man. And I'm not like, and my question is kind of like deliberate. Like, can the offensive line get to a level that can take them to the Super Bowl? Because the quarterback is at times transcendent. Even if last year was a down year, I'm buying CJ Stroud to be better in year 3. They have a deep group of pass catchers. They added 2 more rookies who were really, really productive, just as like Tank Dell was at Houston. They have an alpha top 10 guy in Nico Collins, and then a top 5 defense since D'Amico Ryans took the job 2 years ago. So like everything is on par to like at least make the Super Bowl. Like you look at, how the trends go, like they would be one of the teams due, but then they have this revolving door they call their offensive line. I'll give them this. They brought in 6 new players. Whether it was trade, whether it was free agency, whether it was the top 50 pick in Ariante Ursary, they made their moves. They made a ton of moves. They're going to go down swinging, and I give them that. But the antsy part is, are they going to actually get the 5 right? Like, it's still a 5. Like, I think Cam Robinson is a good left tackle, and he can be sturdy until Ariante Ursary's there. Blake Fisher was pretty good in limited time last year at right tackle. Titus Howard has 2 years left on his deal. Jarrett Patterson is young, and we'll see. Like,
He's young.
He wasn't, like, he still needs to beef up. He's a small center. So, like, that is a big thing with him. And then, like, left guard. I hate left guard here. Like, Drew Scruggs, man. Like, Drew Scruggs or Lincoln Tomlinson's going to be playing left guard for this team. I don't love that. But it's a year ago I drank the Kool-Aid with this team. I picked this team to win the Super Bowl, frankly. I was only buying uptick with this team. And they shot me in the face, but they still made it to the same exact spot that they did the year prior. Like, that's the thing, is they continue to be in this Final Four AFC dance with, only Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar. Like, that's a good group to continue to be in, and they should continue to be in that territory. It's just, can they get the offensive line kind of right in this, like, it's kind of a retooling offensive line year, and I'll see how they attack it next year, but they don't have a ton of money next year. So that's kind of thrown in there. They can maneuver money around, every team can, but on par right now, like, they only have $7 million in cap space right now. So we'll see where they go from here.
I'm with you with the offensive line. That's my biggest question.
Yeah.
Like you said, you couldn't have worded it any better for me. The one point that I want to make is after the divisional round, if you guys were listening back then, you'll know, like, I did not think this team should have lost against the Chiefs. There was not a single fiber in my body. After, I want to say, going into the fourth quarter, the Texans as a team were dominating every stat in terms of team stats, that they could have. They were winning in every single category and beating the brakes off of them in that. It was just such a slow snail game, you know what I mean? To snail race to where it's like, look at what they did.
Chiefs football game? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that last year was probably the most frustrating year. You guys could probably vouch for me, but like, putting it out there, like the way that they played the Chargers in the first round. You guys remember that? Like, I think we talked about it, Matt. I think you might have had a future on them. The thing is like, dude, we all looked at that team and went, oh, okay, they're not messing around. Like, they're coming to steamroll people. And then they ran into that and utterly, I would say, collapsed against the Chiefs. They should have won that game. I will die on this hill. At the end of the day, they didn't. But it's worth noting going into this season because, yes, the offensive line has changed. But look at the defense. That's my big takeaway here, right? the first thing that you think of when you see all of the departures and what has gone in, and honestly, I was influenced by it a lot. So my opinion's allowed to change here. But, I mean, that defense is still intact, if not gotten better. You know what I mean? The one big thing that hurt them towards the end of the season and is still affecting them is Tank Dell's out. And obviously they lost Stephon Diggs, but like, did they ever really have him?
They rebuilt.
You know what I mean?
They rebuilt those guys in the aggregate, getting Noel and getting Higgins.
Right. So I mean, they have that. Not to mention, I mean, like you said, they had Christian Kirk as well. I mean, that's a good fill-in while these guys develop. So I mean, you know, they still have pieces for CJ Stroud to throw to. Will he have time? That's a good question.
Again, yeah, that's the thing. I think it's overlooked. Like, the difference between 1st and 11th is massive, but also the difference between 32nd and 22nd. If they can be, like, a fine below-average group on the offensive line while they figure it out, what if they find the perfect 5? It's one of those things that these things have to happen. Like, someone, it's either going to go great, it's going to go horrible, and even if it goes horrible, I watched it, and they won 10 games. So, like, if it goes horrible again, I still trust the defense. I still trust the quarterback. I still trust the coach. Those are the 3 core elements of winning a championship. So it's going to be interesting to see this team.
Right. Ben?
Yeah, I'll save my thoughts, I guess, for this team once I get through my schedule prediction, my final record, and everything. But I'll say this. Outside of the quarterback, I don't think there was another move in the NFL that impacted the way I had viewed a team as much as the Tunsil trade did.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Yep, I'm with you too, yeah.
He sucked.
I
didn't think in comparison to his contract.
Yeah. I agree, but he has a long rap sheet of being one of the better tackles in all of football. So to give up on him that quickly, especially when you were going to struggle across that offensive line as much as you will, it was just very tough for me.
I think it's sell high. I think it's what good teams do.
I still think Laramie Tunsil
sell before he hits that 30 dip.
I think Laramie Tunsil has still a lot left in the tank, but that's we'll get into it.
All right, top row. I have them losing the first 2 against the Rams and Bucks, and then winning the next 2 against the Jags and Titans, and then losing to the Ravens going into a Week 6 bye. That's a rough bye week for this team. But what do you guys think?
Yes. Here we go. Finally, I'll have it right. I had this team flip-flopping. I have them winning and losing. Well, I guess vice versa, losing and winning. I have them losing against the Rams, beating the Bucks, losing against the Jaguars, beating the Titans, and then losing against the Ravens. So I have them opening up 2-5.
Okay.
I have them 2-5. I have them losing to the Rams. I have them losing to the Bucks. I have them losing to the Jaguars. I have them beating the Titans, losing to Baltimore, going into the bye week 1-4.
Yeah. All right. 2-5. Yeah. Okay. 2-3 out of 5 games. I get why. I was confused why you said that. Yeah. 2-3. Sorry.
They will beat the Seahawks. I'll even go on to say beat the Niners, lose to the Broncos, lose to the Jags. Beat the Jags. I don't know why I said that. Beat the Titans, lose to the Bills.
Yeah. I'll have them beat the Seahawks, beat the Niners, lose to the Broncos, beat the Jags and Titans, and lose to the Bills. So they're beating the teams they probably should. I kind of like the Broncos this year, but I don't think they really stand a chance against the Bills, if I'm being 100% honest.
I have them beating Seattle. I have them beating San Francisco. I have them losing to the Broncos. I have them beating the Jaguars. I have them beating the Titans. And then that game against Buffalo. This will be canon, by the way. Buffalo will go into that game 10-0, and Houston will beat them. So Thursday Night Football. Keep an eye out, Week 12. My predictions are never wrong. So.
Yeah, like the Saints a couple years ago when they went undefeated. That was crazy.
They will beat the Colts, lose to the Chiefs, beat the Cardinals, beat the Raiders, Lose to the Chargers, beat the Colts. 10-7.
Okay, which is fun because I'll probably end up being the low man here. I've been losing to both the Colts and the Chiefs, beating both the Cardinals and Raiders, losing to the Chargers, beating the Colts. So I have them going 9-8. I'll let Matt say what his record is, and then I'll kind of get into my thoughts about the Texans, and I'll make it quick. But I have them going 9-8. So
I have them beating the Colts. I have them losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. I have them beating the Raiders and Cardinals. I don't know why I flipped those. I have them losing to the Chargers. I have them losing to the Colts. I have them finishing 9-8, winning the division off a tiebreaker.
Wow. Okay, me too. I have them winning
Absolutely
the division off the tiebreaker, 9-8 against the Jags as well. I expected you to be like, look, I don't want to say very high, but high enough on this team. I'll kind of get into my Texans of it all. The offensive line, as I said with Laremy Tunsil, scares me half to death. I mean, I think this will be like, it has a chance to be the Chicago Bears. It has a chance to be a David Carr situation. Like, that is how bad this offensive line is. That's how bad I think it could be and could get, which is not good at all. I love Nico. Again, as you can see the flag there, I've always been a Nico guy. If you guys followed me at all or the podcast throughout this entire draft process,
This is going to be I don't like Jalen Noel thing.
Wasn't very good on Noel. So him stepping in doesn't really move the needle. I do like Higgins, but I think you're searching for wide receiver 3. I think Christian Kirk is fine. I don't think he does anything. And I do think you are getting a step back from Joe Mixon. He's an older running back. So as much as, you have 2 pass catchers that I'm a fan of, and then everything else on this offense, I don't like outside of the 2 pass catchers and the quarterback. Given the defense is good, and I know this is going to be crazy coming from an Eagles fan off of the year that we just had, but also I think we're shifting away from that defense wins championships. Sorry to our close friend, Coach Tyler, but defense doesn't win champions anymore. You need at least a top 15 at the bare minimum offense, and I don't know if they're going to be able to put that out with how bad this offensive line is. As much as I really, really, really love this defense, I mean, they could finish the year the number 1 defense. There's not enough on offense to get me excited for this team.
I disagree with that. I do. I think that if, they have even a top 15 defense, you know what I mean, and then squeak their way into, even top 20 to top 15, I feel like CJ Stroud is that it factor when it comes to, late game scenarios to where he can kind of will his way into, wins and stuff like that. If the
playoffs.
Well, if the defense is keeping it close, you know what I mean? I think that
the defense is going to be great. I don't think the question about this team is the defense. I'm going to push back. I'm saying if the score, what I really like about this team.
If the score's tight enough to where CJ can bring it within 1, you can lose that game. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Texans can still beat you in that sense. CJ is that good, but it's all a matter of, whether or not they can get to that. And if that defense doesn't live up to the expectations, then no, this team is not even going to be close to 9 wins right now. I'll be honest with you. I'd be looking at 6 or 7 wins. And it's just because I'm saying 6 to 7 wins if that defense does not meet expectations, because the offense would not be able to withstand anything either. That offensive line is not great. Trust me. I've watched teams for the last 5 years with a horrible offensive line. You can't get anything going. Even if your defense is like, hey, I got a turnover for you. Here's the ball on the 40-yard line on their side of the field. Oh, what's that? We settled for a field goal and we missed it? Or we settled for a field goal and got 3 points, but they scored 2 touchdowns this half? It's not going to work. But regardless, I'm saying if that defense can handle it and the offense can live up at least a little bit, come close to top 15 and you're good. You know what I mean? You can win games and you'll go to the playoffs, especially with this division being the way that it is. Hint, hint on my next team. But still, that's where it's at.
I'll say this. I think the 9-8 prediction that I have is much closer to their floor than it is their ceiling. Because I do think that defense is that good. I think they're going to be a top 5 defense. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if they are the number one defense, and we're talking about this defense the same way that we're talking about the Broncos defense this year. Again, I have no questions about that defense. They're going to be absolutely dominant. Again, we saw them play in this close playoff game, and the offense was not able to get it done when it mattered the most. If you would have told me that they were going to hold Patrick Mahomes to 23 points in a playoff game, I probably told you they would have won. But they put up 14 points.
Healthy tank gets them to the conference championship. Just telling you. We're playing hypotheticals here, so we can go in circles all day, but that's
I mean, it's not hypothetical. Their offense could not get it done in the playoffs when it mattered.
No, I'm saying if there's a healthy tank there, they would have been in the conference championship. Like that's but I'm playing hypotheticals. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we can go in circles with that all the time. I'm not saying you're wrong by any means. No, but
I think the defense could take a little step back. I think top 5 is really rich. I think they got, They got 17 games out of Danielle Hunter. Does that happen again? It's tough at 30 years old. I think Stingley had his best year as a pro. You see corner regression all the time. Kamari Lassiter walked into the NFL and was a superstar, and he can continue to ascend. But I think that the defense falls a little bit. Hence 9-8, and again, like the offensive line, I again lean more towards the offensive line isn't going to be that great, more so than I think they're going to figure it out by week 5. But yeah, I think this is again another team that they're going to get complacent, and they're all going to look at each other and say, "Listen, we just need to get in the dance, whether it's winning 9 games or winning 12 games." Like that's just kind of how this is. Once you do a few go arounds on it, and I have them off tiebreaker getting in.
Yeah,
biggest thing really quick. I'm just gonna add this tidbit, and then you can.
I would add for the Texans for the YouTube. Take every non-Texans team to win the division. I think plus 300 for every team, like plus 300, plus 320, plus 700. I just looked. I think that's an interesting play because I do believe there's a world where I don't think 9-8 is the floor. I think they could, you miss a few games here and there of Stroud or something like that. Like we saw how bad it can be when in his rookie year. Remember when he left with a concussion? So that's something that's a sneaky play if the offensive line just doesn't figure it out. And Ben's right. This is the worst offensive line in football, which it has potential to be. There's a lot of rejects on this team. Taking everybody else in the division to win it, it might be worthwhile.
I was just going to add, we were talking big game about this defense. It is so, in my opinion, it's so much harder to be a good defense in this league, good meaning top 5, like Ben was saying, than it would be to be a top 5 offense in a league full of extremely.
Quarterback is so vital.
Quarterback's so vital in a league full of offensive superstars, your Justin Jeffersons, for example. The Vikings could be a top 5 offense, you know what I mean? No matter who the quarterback is, you know what I mean? So saying that this team could be a top 5 defense in the league is kind of heavy to me. But I would say that if they can itch that top 10 range, because then you start kind of falling a little bit more once you get closer to top 15. And then, like you said, the difference between 22 and 30 isn't very very, very big. So that if they can itch that top 10, that's when you're talking they could make a difference. And if they can finish above 500 in this division, that's going to be huge for them down the stretch. But Ben, what you got?
Absolutely. And this is kind of where I'll leave it. I think the reason that I am so high on this defense, obviously it stems from D'Amico and all the other pieces. I mean, they have good pieces on this defense, but it really stems from that one player. I think this time next year, if the Texans have the record for it, we will be talking about Will Anderson being the decoy.
Yeah.
I think he is that good as a pass rusher and is a top 5 run setting defensive end and is probably close to a top 5 pass rusher. That is where we are getting at with Will Anderson. And I think that is a big portion as to why I like this Texans defense as much as I do, because I think Will Anderson will finish with some of the top votes for decoy, if not win it all. So,
yeah, All right. So let's go ahead and get into. Oh, wait, one last little tidbit. The funny thing is the over/under at 9.5 wins for the Texans, and the fact that I finished 10-7 and you guys finished 9-8. We're doing it 3 for 3 this week, guys. We're killing it with the over/under. Hilarious how we're just on both sides of the spectrum here. All right, diving into the Colts is our final team of the night. Matt, what you got?
The record 8-9, second in the division. They missed the playoffs yet again, just on the outside. Their offensive EPA per play was negative .045, 24th with Joe Flacco here and there, with Anthony Richardson here and there. Their pass block win rate was 56%, 25th. Their run block win rate was really good, 74% at 4th. Their defensive EPA per play was .005, 14th in the league. Pass rush win rate was 37%, 21st, and their run stop win rate was 31% at 14th. And then, so I jotted down, because we're in quarterback battle season, I jotted down both Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones in 2024. Anthony Richardson, with the rushing involved, negative .051 EPA per play, 29th of the qualified players. Only Cooper Rush, Gardner Minshew, and Will Levis were behind him. He was 40.6 success rate, which was 31%. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, negative .020 EPA per play. Again, adding in, these guys both are like ground players. They both have designed rushing ability. That was 27th, and then he was 46.2% in success rate. So that was 19th, pretty good. But those are just their statistics last season, their efficiency metrics. So if you want to base it on that, then they're going to start Daniel Jones. If there's still something to gain playing Anthony Richardson, there is. I think you should play Anthony Richardson. We'll see how it shakes out. Don't know.
Can I interrupt you really quick just because it's relevant? My guy, James Boyd from Northwest Indiana, he's reporting for the Colts so far, fourth year. He's saying the Colts rotated Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones between first and second teams, but as of right now, Daniel Jones has gotten more first team reps. So given that it's still very early,
stop it. He came off of shoulder surgery.
And guess what? Anthony Richardson is probably going to have more first team reps tomorrow. Like the Saints are doing the same exact thing.
Take that with a grain of salt because we're still extremely early in training camp. So we'll let you guys know.
They are going to earn the spot through preseason games. That is how I believe it's going to be perceived, and we're all going to get a peek behind the curtain. If Daniel Jones is better than Anthony Richardson in preseason football, he will play. That's my take on it. I think you guys are kind of nodding your heads in agreement. I think this cannot be a fake quarterback battle. This can't be like
for Riley Leonard in the preseason, though. Just saying.
Yeah, Riley Leonard does get you going, but Anthony Richardson, like, he's got to earn this. Like, that's what's interesting about this is, like, he's got to earn it here. Like, what is that? ESPN has him listed as the starter. Arled's does not. So it's like nobody knows where Anthony Richardson is going to be playing. But their offseason fired Gus Bradley, brought in Lou Anarumo from the Cincinnati Bengals. Their only keep that was major was Ashton Dulin, their receiver, just a depth receiver. I just wanted to throw someone in here. So, 2 years, $6.5 million. Other than that, they didn't really keep many of their outside free agents. Their free agency, Travarius Ward, 3 years, $54 million. Cam Bynum, 4 years, $60. Both of those were top of the market at corner and safety, so there was a real desire to get there. And then Daniel Jones, as we mentioned, 1 year's $14 million. Their draft, Tyler Warren in the first round, JT Tuimoloau in the second, Justin Wally out of Minnesota in round 3, and then I threw in DJ Giddens for Ben, just for Ben's sake, in round 5. And their departures, Will Fries, guard, goes to Minnesota. Ryan Kelly also goes to Minnesota. He didn't play much last year. Dio Adingbo goes to the Bears. EJ Speed, off-ball linebacker. Julian Blackmon goes to the Saints just recently, and then Joe Flacco, of course, goes to the Browns. Their season outlook question, it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't have two. Is this defense like low-key top 10? Like, I kind of liked it. The Colts' biggest problem last year was their secondary, 23rd in drop back EPA per play. So what did they do? They brought in a longtime defensive backs coach in DC and Lou Anarumo and signed one of the richest corners and safeties on the free agency market. Their pass rush will continue to get a nice facelift with JTT. Hopefully Laiatu Latu, who Chris Ballard was jumping up at joy when they got him at 15 a few years ago. Hopefully in his second year he takes another leap. And then Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, continue to be an underrated interior defensive line duo. Their linebackers will take a step back, but Zaire Franklin is still going to be the green dot. He's a good run defender. It's a nice little unit. If they reach their potential, I think it could be top 10. And then number 2 was, I didn't want to talk about the quarterback, so I just did, can a pass catcher outside of Michael Pittman Jr. Be a 1K level player? Their last 4 drafts, including this season with Tyler Warren, they have drafted a pass catcher in the top 3 rounds. Alec Pierce in 2022, Josh Downs in 2023, Adonai Mitchell in 24, and then Tyler Warren this year. Downs has 1,500 yards in 2 seasons, so he would be the guy to kind of continue the uptick of he'll, going from 750 to 800, he'll get to 1,000, right? He plays slot just as Michael Pittman. That's where Michael Pittman kind of thrives, is as a big slot. So does that get in the way? Does any of this matter if the quarterbacks suck? I think it does enough because you got to have a semblance of a room if you're going to bring in the next guy, whoever that is. But yeah, I mean, they might not be able to have a guy step up because the quarterbacks are really bad. So take that into account. But yeah, that's the Colts.
My big question, I was talking to Ryan about this the other day here. Is this the best situation that Daniel Jones has ever played in? Period. I mean, it says wild, but I think it is. I mean, in terms of Michael Pittman, in terms of, they drafted Warren, a very good offensive line, a better top of the league-ish running back, watching my language because above average running back, a good defense.
And Taylor? Taylor's awesome.
Yeah, I think Taylor's awesome. I just didn't want to say top 5 because he's not top 5. But a very, very good running back and a good defense. I think this might be the best team that Daniel Jones has ever played if he is the starting quarterback.
I would disagree. I mean, I don't think that – I know that he had a
playoff team.
But as far as just in general, I mean, I think that – even though it was a very limited amount of time, his time with Malik Neighbors, this is because we talked, Ben and I talked about –
that team was awful.
I mean, okay.
Well, I'm talking when they made the playoffs in 22.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's comparable, at least. I don't know. But what I was going to say, what I think is funny when we're talking about this, quarterback, battle in camp. First off, it's hilarious that we're even mentioning this because I have a really good feeling that we're going to see both quarterbacks during the season. Whoever's starting the season will not finish the season, or if they do, they will not play an entire season as starter, even if both of them end healthy, throughout the entire season. I'm seeing posts from James Boyd at camp, 9:36 in the morning, saying Colts corner Kenny Moore II just picked off Daniel Jones in 7-on-7. And then mere minutes after that, 9:48, Anthony Richardson was really picked off by Alex Johnson in 7-on-7. It's dear God, Colts fans, I'm sorry. I know a couple people. I've got some friends that are Colts fans. They're going through it right now. They don't feel confident about either guy. And you wouldn't.
Why should you?
Yeah. And so, going into our schedule predictions now, I mean, why not just dive into it? Regardless of who's the quarterback, I'm pretty confident you're getting the same results. So it doesn't necessarily sway me one way or the other, but we'll hit on that individually. We'll go row by row. And if you guys are cool with it now, I'll go ahead and start us off.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them losing against the Dolphins, losing against the Broncos, losing against the Titans, losing against the Rams. I'm going to have them beat the Raiders, lose against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm not too far off in terms of what their win-loss is going to be in this first set of games. I have them losing the first 2 against the Dolphins and Broncos, beating the Titans, losing the next two against the Rams and Raiders, and then beating the Cardinals. So in the first 6 set of games here, I have them going 2-4.
Yeah, I have them losing to the Dolphins, beating the Broncos at home, and then losing the next 4. So starting 1-5.
Next row, I have them losing to the Chargers, losing to the Titans, losing to the Steelers. I'll have them beat the Falcons in a weird game in Berlin. I think I had the Falcons winning that one last week. However, I'm switching up now.
So they win. So both teams win.
So yeah, both teams win. Everybody has fun. That's it. Take the over. I'm just kidding. Take the under. So going into the bye week, you're looking at 2-8 on the Ryan Matthews schedule. And then guess what? Right after the bye, they're going to get curb stomped by the Chiefs. So 2-9 after that one. Wait, yeah, 2-9. Math is hard.
Yeah. Exactly. Math is hard. I have them losing to the Chargers, beating both the Titans and Steelers, and then losing to both the Falcons and Chiefs. So through that first 11 games here, I have them going with 4 wins. So
yeah, I have them losing to the Chargers, beating the Titans to split, losing to the Steelers, beating the Falcons in Germany. So they'll be 3-7 at that bye. They'll lose to the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. Sorry. All right.
it is.
Losing every single game that's left. Yeah, they're only winning 2. And congratulations, Indianapolis Colts. You get the rights to Archie Manning.
Wow. That's a conversation for another day, but I don't think Arch is coming out this year. Anyways, as much fun as that would be, I have them beating the Texans, losing to both the Jags and Seahawks, beating both the Niners and Jags, and then losing the Texans. So I have them finishing at 7-10. And man, this is one of those teams that I think could finish higher if they actually had some sort of competent quarterback play. Again, I really like the roster that they have. I just don't like what's going on at quarterback. If Anthony Richardson finally takes that leap that we all wanted him when they drafted him in the first place 2 years ago, I could see them finishing higher than 7-10. But that quarterback play scares me.
Yeah, I picking up Houston. I have them losing to Houston, losing to Jacksonville, losing to Seattle, losing to San Francisco, winning the last 2 games. I have them, 5-12? So yeah, I'm throwing in those pity 5-12s. I think this is a clean house year. I think with the passing of Mr. Irsay, I think it's just going to be a downtick season. I think when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. And I believe that. I know it's a cliche statement, but I think it's true with this team. I think you have 2 bottom 10 quarterbacks. I think what Richardson does really well, you can't lean into for a full season, which is his rushing ability. So again, I kind of side with Ben a little bit. I think they have some fun players. Do I think you can just drop any quarterback in there and they're going to win games? No, not really. But the top end talent, superstar quarterback, absolutely, and they can win games with anybody. But yeah, I think 5-12 is where I sit. I'm low on this team. I don't and I like Steichen, so that's what's weird is I think he's creative enough that he's going to scheme up the best quarterback and get the right guy on the field. It's just I don't think there's a right guy of those 2. So and
he probably gets canned. He probably gets canned.
Yeah, I think everybody gets canned. I think if they don't win, if they don't make the playoffs, frankly, I think the new ladies in charge just clear out everything. Frankly, why wouldn't they? Because why should they feel attachment to anybody who's winning 5 games at this point in time? So yeah, we'll see how that.
I would even say transpires. Ballard's got to know that by now. I would assume. I think that him and Irsay were just that close, like you said. I mean, I feel like he knows that this is it. So I mean, I would even be looking. Hey, if they're close to 500 at the deadline, maybe they're active. Who knows? Or
What is
active
at the deadline?
Trading DeForest Buckner for a team that needs it.
I'm saying buyers. I'm saying they're buying into it because I would say Ballard's trying to save his job at that point and say, I want to build this competitive roster and stay. Now,
desperate GM's the worst.
Now, if they're not, then you could be looking again, being active at the deadline. Buckner getting traded. Taylor just got extended, so I would assume that Taylor stays. But I mean, what other Pittman? Do you think about trading Pittman? Probably not. I mean, you're looking at hopefully adding a quarterback in the offseason, right? So you probably want to hold on to Pittman. I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot that I like about this Colts team. I'll leave it at that. I mean,
you had to win 2 games. I didn't think so.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're over-unders at 7.5, so I broke the streak there. But, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, there's like 3 pieces on this team that I like altogether.
I think I'm low on this team because I'm high on everybody else. Like, I think
that's fair.
I think they could steal wins like outside of the division. I think 7.5 is a perfectly fine. Obviously, I'm going to be lower just because I think the quarterback situation is a problem, and I like all of the 3 other teams. I think the other 3 teams are better vibes right now, and I think they have the better overall talent at the places you want to have better talent at. So, I think we fell in the right category that we're all like, this team is absolutely not a playoff team. And I don't know if they're going to be picking number 1 overall, but yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
My big takeaway from doing all 4 of these teams, not to harp back on it, is take the plus 1,600 for Will Anderson and Depoy. That's where I'm leaving.
Really?
Yes. Unless you want to take Nick Bonito at plus 3,300.
We're not close enough to the season for me to be looking at like defensive player of the year.
I just checked right now when I was talking about it. That's
just take Watt and Garrett, and one of them will win it.
Micah at plus 1,600 is a favorite, but that's for another episode. We do actually have that episode. We have that planned. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for 5 more weeks.
Yeah,
but it will happen in 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we're 3/4 through the divisions now. Like that's what I was cycling today because I can't. I'm too buttoned up to how Ryan picked 2 teams to win the same game. My OCD would not let me do that, so I had to go into the playoff predictor and sort this out today, and so yeah.
All right. Guys, I think let's just close this one out. We've been live for an hour and 45 minutes almost. Any closing comments for this one and then leading into next week when we dive into the AFC North?
Yeah, man. Bengals and Browns next week. I mean, we just got done talking about the Titans, and that's a team people are talking about as being one of the worst teams. Come back and see what we feel about Shadur. Come back and see how we feel about him. But, it was fun. Next week, we'll probably get back into talking a little bit more about college football. A lot going on over the last couple of weeks that we just haven't been able to cover because of, 2-hour-long episodes.
Yep.
So make sure you guys, tune back to that. And, you'll pick up back to kind of what we used to be. And, I'm excited for another great episode next week.
Matt?
No, nothing. Just we're 3/4 through the way, man. I mean, we're so close. When you hit the training camp first day and you get to see the clips, it really changes the way you feel about the season. And I mean, we're gonna win 10 games. It's kind of how it goes. But yeah, it's excited for it to the off season's over. That's fun.
Yes. I'm excited to see that change, the off-season mode. You just said it. You just said the off-season was over. I'm excited to see that little title change there, right? Yep. That was one of my favorite bits over the course of the season. Yep. I'm excited to see what it is. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead, take it.
This puts a smile on my face. We are so done with the off-season. You want to know why? the Hall of Fame games in 8 days, gentlemen. We will be watching the Hall of Fame game the day after next week's podcast. How awesome is that? The Lions and Chargers kicking things off for us. And then after that, I mean, preseason started. That's it. That's it. That's all. We got through it. That's it. Anyways, that's it. That's all. That's all, folks.
That's all?
Really?
We want to thank Spotify for Podcasters, Reason Radio Sports Network, and Uppercuts Grooming for helping us grow as a podcast. And until next week, this has been the Pigskin Project.